First of all, let's talk about your bull market thesis. I take it that you believe that we're in a raging bull market at the moment. I saw this tweet from Rect Capital where he says he thinks we're about 30% of the way into the bull market, 29% of the way into the bull market. Does your view align with this? Like, do you think we are about 30% of the way in? If yes, that means we've probably got about 600 days to go until we reach the top. How do you see the timing of the bull market?
Yeah, so I break it into stages. It was about January 15th or January 17th of this year. I categorized the bull market as early bull. So we have early bull and full bull. Full bull we hit a couple of weeks ago. So the first 11 months of the run has been done. That's early bull, where you get good gains, doubling, maybe a little bit more, 160% is Bitcoin. Now we're going into the full bull run, and that will last typically. So what's happening now this time is really interesting because things are going up higher earlier than before. Things are harder, which means scarcer, and there's more demand, more adoption, there's more education. So everybody's front running everything, which is kind of what happens, which means we're going up earlier, faster, which means the halving process will be different than ever before, which means we could end earlier. But there's also another caveat to that theory, and that is adoption is going through the roof. Fiat currencies around the world are in shambles, and we have an ETF coming January 10th, 8th, 9th, something like that is a very high probability, 90% plus probability it's going to happen. When that happens, and because of the scarcity, I did a little slide yesterday. I had to see if I can pull it up. I kind of summarized all the top 10 points. I will pull it up if you give me 1 second.
There we go.
It's a kind of like a quick and dirty little list of why I believe this is a special time. One, there's only 1.8 now to 2 million Bitcoin left in exchanges. BlackRock, to fill their bag with their reach and assets under management and their Aladdin program and the pension funds and everything else, they're going to need at least 1 million Bitcoin. Right, so half of what's on exchanges will be
1 million Bitcoin.
Yes, over a year and a half to 3 years. We don't know how quickly they're going to be able to accumulate, but that demand is going to send the thing through the roof. Also, there's 12 other ETFs, and then another 6 to follow after that. There'll be 18 in total, and they're all going to be vying for this very scarce supply. And also some interesting news, like Financial Times came out and called Bitcoin an ESG investment because it uses stranded energy. It's actually an environmentally friendly thing for an economy to make money rather than just waste electricity, because storing electricity is extremely difficult to do. And also nation states are beginning to mine. If you look at the total global hash and you look at it for the public miners, the hash is a lot higher than all the public miners control.
Yes.
So somebody is mining on the sly, but we don't know if it's in Kazakhstan or in a volcano somewhere in El Salvador. This is the interesting thing too. Also, treasury assets, the FASB accounting changes were issued last week. Nation states, they're buying gold in those places that have terrible fiats. And it's only a matter of time before they start stacking some Bitcoin as well. And 78% of the people that hold Bitcoin are not selling. So that's the quick and dirty list as to why Bitcoin has never, ever been this hard or as bullish. And I think this run could be very interesting.
So I must say, I agree with you. I'm optimistically cautious. I do believe that there is a small chance that we get a curveball in January, though. And I don't know what that means, but I just know that the path for max pain for the market is that it's not, everyone is expecting the ETF in January. And one thing I've learned about markets, James, and I think you've been around for as long as I have, is that if everyone is expecting a certain outcome, the market will give you exactly the opposite outcome, or the market will do something to screw everybody over. So as much as I'm optimistic, I have taken a couple of hedges. I actually used Deribit and I bought some puts on Bitcoin just in case we don't get the ETF. My rationale is easy. If we do get the ETF, we get the insane demand and the price goes up and I've got nothing to worry about. If we don't, I need to hedge my portfolio. And again, I'm just worried because I know that Gary Gensler has an anti-crypto angle. I know he's not looking for the best intention of us. He's looking for the best intention for Elizabeth Warren, and she's completely anti-crypto. And so I'm just worried that they're pumping the market, making us believe we're going to get an ETF. Come January, find a technicality and delay us till March or April, and then people will say, "Hey, this is like, I don't know." I'm just preparing myself in case that scenario happens. What do you think?
Yeah, well, first of all, if you look at the on-chain data, there's a couple of things. One, it's been a full-blown institutional game this year. It's not a retail game. Retail listened to Twitter and
Yes.
they stayed off the train. All right. So they haven't gotten their positions yet and they're dying. They're very upset, very angry. And you can see you can gauge the temperature of the room online. That's the first part. So they need to get on the train. If, like, we did a dip, down to 40K, it was down there for minutes and it shot back up to 41. I actually bought more Bitcoin at 41,000 myself. And I think it may not dip below 40K, even if there is disappointment. Any dip is bought up. And so many people are aware of this asset. Money managers are aware of it. It's a matter of time before it gets approved. And remember as well, the SEC and Gensler is not the be-all, end-all of what this is all about. And if you look at the money flows into global ETPs and ETFs, not American ones because they don't exist, it's bombastic. So from that perspective, don't expect a flash crash to 30K, 35K. I don't see it happening.
So I mean, I know ever is a very long way away, but I mean, certainly in the next 12 to 24 months, do you not think that we get a Bitcoin under 35,000?
No.
Okay.
Not with the State of the Union, the cutting of interest rates, the increase in global liquidity, the hardness. I agree. It just can't. I don't see it happening.
Okay, but now let me give you some perspective. I respect your answer. I just again, we've both been here for a very long time. And one thing I want to show you previous bull markets. That's 2020 to 21. Bitcoin went from 3,800 to 69,000 or whatever the number is. But we did have 20% and 31% and 26% corrections along the way. And then the 2017 bull, we had, I don't have it in front of me, but we had in the 2017 bull, we had multiple corrections to 30% or whatever the number was. You don't think that cycle is going to repeat itself?
The most dangerous words in investing is this time is different. This time is different. There's more adoption. There's more users. There's more knowledge. And there's more hardness. And this thing is about to become doubly as scarce in 120 days. So
let me show you something. So this was 2017. You could say the average big correction was around 33%. Kind of like you can do that. If you look at 2021, the average big correction was about 25%. So because the asset becomes harder and more mainstream, you get more liquidity, more buyers, you get less dips. If we extrapolate that forward, we could say that the average dip here will be like 20%, which is kind of like what we've been seeing. We've been seeing these 20% little flash crashes.
Like we had the move, which was, what was it, 10% hit down from 45 to 40. So yeah, a little over, so I'd call it 12%. Yeah, that can happen. The problem we have though is for the first time ever, we're going into a cycle where there's just less and less of it, and there's more and more adoption. So if you apply the basic laws of economics, this thing cannot fall like it did in the past. And the whales used to come in on a Sunday night, and I remember watching this, and they drop, 8,000 Bitcoin or 4,000 Bitcoin or 2,000 Bitcoin on an exchange and dump it, liquidate the longs, and then buy it all back up. The problem now, people know how to snipe. People know how to grab stuff back. So the whales can't even play that game anymore because they risk losing their Bitcoin. So it's a very different animal. Very different animal.